What's up, everybody? Chris, AKA Helgaiden here with the little news blip. I recently came across an article going over the new Radeon Crimson ReLive drivers. ReLive, ReLive, whatever you want to call it. But that ReLive feature is going to be really nice because it's. I know that Raptor support ended in the Crimson drivers a little while ago, and some people use Raptor to record gaming and stuff like that, but it still didn't quite measure up to like NVIDIA Shadowplay or Share, whatever you want to call that one. And now with the Radeon ReLive, we'll be able to get that. It's going to have an overlay, it's going to have an instant replay option, it's going to have a stream option, screenshot option. Basically, it's AMD's response to NVIDIA Share or Geforce Share, which is really interesting and quite a welcome addition to the Crimson software suite. Something else that's very interesting is the Crimson Chill feature, which is it works similarly to the Crimson driver's frame rate targeting control, which just kind of helps control where the frame rate are. You set it in that setting, but the way Chill works is it's automatic, it's seamless, and the way that it controls frame rates, it makes sure that there's no wasted power with your graphics card. So in essence, it can result in a little bit better performance, less input lag, because it takes care of queued up frames, and so basically the graphics card doesn't have to wait at certain steps like it normally would, like if you had VSync on, for example. And it can also result in reduced temperatures, especially because the card is not working as hard. Rather, it's not wasting any unnecessary cycles. And it gets a little more complicated than that. In my opinion, it's kind of similar to FastSync and how it tries to control things, but FastSync is more VSync oriented as far as where the frames go, and in this case it's just specifically keeping them in a certain range, but all being seamless. So when it wants more power, it'll pump up the frames, but if you can get away with doing a little less work to have less heat and less issues, it will tune itself down dynamically and dynamically back up. But it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit hard to explain. I'll link some news sites that go into that a little bit more, but I do think it's going to be very interesting. What I find a little more interesting on that though right now is that it's at such a deep level of the driver and how the graphics card works that essentially it only works right now with DirectX 9, 10, and 11. DirectX 12 and Vulkan support is not available yet, but it is coming. So it's cool to see AMD innovating with some of these features. The driver is going to have performance increases for all GCN-based cards, probably to a max of about 8%. Probably the RX 480 will see the biggest improvement in some games, and the older guys like the 7950, not so much. However, a little bit of research online shows that certain games, like Ashes of Singularity, for example, GCN, like async compute, has been disabled in the GCN 1.0 cards. That's kind of a big deal. They are a little bit old, so it's worth considering moving away from those at this point, but they still work good, so I find it interesting that AMD would do that. Anyways, that's just a little news blip. Crimson Radeon drivers, the ReLive, whatever you want to call it. Looking forward to that. I'm not an AMD guy myself. I used to be all AMD, and I've just been waiting for them to shine again, and it looks like their moment in the sunlight is almost back. They started with Polaris, and they're going to knock it out of the park with Zen, in my opinion. So, can't wait to see where all this goes. And, you know what? Yeah, just really looking forward to that. If you guys like this video, make sure to click that like button, subscribe. If you didn't like it, hit that dislike button if you want. Leave a comment. See what we can work on. See what you want to see. Make a comment here. Alright guys, have a good one.